Facebook has overhauled its suicide prevention tools. So they've made it a lot easier, a lot more effective. So if you were to ever, this is just good to know for everybody out there, if you ever see anyone that you love or just one of your Facebook friends who seem that they are suicidal, you can now, Facebook's allowed you to flag the post within the post. So once you flag it, you can immediately then talk to that person who you are worried about, or you can involve other of their friends. You can immediately tag them and have a conversation. Also gives you an option to contact an expert, and that expert can help guide you on how to handle this. Now, then Facebook will review to see if this is indeed what they believe to be a suicidal post. And if they do, then the next time that user logs into their Facebook account, they will have all these different screens pop up with information, with tools, with phone numbers, mental health guidelines, who to call, where to go to, experts, etc. Now, this is right now only available in the United States, but soon it will be all over the world.
So good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, this is going to help a lot of people for obvious reasons, but also I think there sometimes are quite a few people that post a lot of negative things and don't necessarily realize that they're posting it, and maybe it could just be a nice little reminder that they are going through something that they maybe didn't realize. And so it's a good option to have just in case, because a literal lifeline is important. It's just so hard to get help. And so sometimes people don't even see that they need help. And sometimes people are too afraid to ask. And it's sometimes good to know that you have friends that see it and are reaching out to actually help. And the fact that you can do that for somebody else, I mean, that's a great way to be proactive in somebody's life like that.
Yeah, Bianca?
I think it's great that they're, Facebook's using their power to really help people. And I know that, like, sometimes you see posts and you're just like, you want to say something, you're just like, you don't know what to do, you don't want to comment, you don't want everybody to see it, and you don't want to, call them because, you just don't know what they want. So I think it's really smart that, they'll be able to have another option and be able to call somebody, because sometimes people really just don't know that there are those, like, lifelines out there. So for them to be aware of that and, really make it evident to everyone, I think is really good.
Yeah, they're really giving us tools. And it also creates dialogue. It helps break down that stigma that it should be, mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of. Brett, have you ever had to deal with something like this on Facebook where you had to reach out to someone? Or?
I haven't had to deal with anything like this, but I do think this is a huge risk that Facebook's taking, and I'm glad that they're taking it. Like, this is not something that they have to do. This is not something that's easy to do by any means. Just trying to figure out how you, as a technology company, really would be able to write a program that, will scan and identify things automatically. Like, that is such a touchy subject, and they really are putting themselves out there. And now, if anyone has trouble as a result of it, like, Facebook runs the risk of people going after them. And I think it's just doubly brave in that respect for Facebook to, someone who catches a lot of flack anyway for a lot of other stuff. And as you said, kind of using their power for something good. I mean,
so
I agree, and I'm so glad too, because a lot of people have been advocating for them to do something like this, and they definitely are running the risk by doing that. But it's because so many people are now, viewing Facebook and social media as a way to get noticed. And I say that very respectfully. I don't mean get noticed like, oh, a cry for help. And sometimes that is the case, but also it becomes this digital diary, right? So it's a new era. And this happens a lot on Facebook. And it was happening so often that it's almost like they have to do this. They have to. And I get that they don't. So kudos to them, but I'm glad that they've stepped up to the plate.
Right. There's all kinds of things that happen on that site. And for them to realize, I mean, it also is just a wake-up call to everybody about how much this is an issue, given that Facebook is launching like a major initiative to combat it. And to combat it, help people who are in need of it. Just any kind of thing that can raise awareness as to people who are going through these kinds of situations is there's nothing bad about that.
And really be mindful too about, and we all are, but to people out there watching, because sometimes a lot of the times, whether it is a cry for help or not, it's still somebody that is suffering. I had a friend that wrote something very dark on Facebook, very, very dark, and it was actually my sister that alerted me and sent me a screenshot of it, because then I went to that person's page and it was gone. And I got so panic stricken, so I called that person, somebody really close, without giving out too much information, called someone really close to that person, and that person intervened. And it was that moment in time that really helped save that person. So we just have to remember that if we are more hypervigilant on anything social nowadays, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and we can see kind of like a window into one of our friends or Facebook friends' soul, what they're going through, we have to step up to the plate. We have to. And I know some people can say that that's almost like a police state mentality, but it's also like see something, say something because you care.
Totally. And it's I feel like a lot of people get annoyed and they're like, I'm tired of looking at all the dark stuff that people post on Facebook, and it's like, wham, poor me, blah, blah, blah. But like this is somebody like putting themselves out there and kind of asking for help in a way that they don't necessarily feel like they can do without writing it down. And this happens a lot on Twitter and Instagram. Like we get a lot of messages from people, and it's really scary. And so it's kind of nice to be able to see these cries for help and be able to intervene in whatever way that we can.
Yeah.
And
no, I
It's
think
good.
it's important.
It's important to not hide your feelings.
Right.
If you have those feelings, put them out there. Let people know we want to help you.
And Facebook's like call is to kind of mimic the social interactions you'd have with people in a non-online environment online. And that kind of that same dynamic that they're trying to, put out this product about. I mean, that happens in close circles of friends. You're sitting around, you're talking, you realize someone's getting a little dark and they seem like they might need help. You'd go to other friends, you maybe talk to someone who has the best, into them. But that's just bringing these things that have bled over online and developing a technological solution that is the same as the one you'd have in real life.
Yeah.
And I think like what Facebook is adding to this, this situation is, you can post and there's always the cry for help, like what you were saying, but with Facebook now, you can have a cry for professional help. So I guess if people don't know how to handle it,
I love the idea of them linking in an expert in that field too, because then you can really help that person get the help that they need. Okay, so that's it for us today. Big round of applause for Bianca Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca, for being here, and we will see you guys all next time on Pop Sugar.